everyone's joining. Today I'm going to be talking about books that I've read recently. So I got a lot of books to talk about that I've read recently, and I'm just excited to talk about some of the books that I've read for the past couple of months. And yeah, let's get to the books that I've read recently. So the first book that I've read recently was actually a library book, and I had to return it, which is The Grim Rose Girls by Laura Paul. This is basically a book that is Pretty Little Liars meets Once Upon a Time, about a group of friends that they are besties, obviously, and then one of them ends up getting murdered, and then somehow their friend's murder relates to a fairy tale, and she's not the only murder victim in their school. I really enjoyed this book. I think I gave it 4 stars. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was a very unique mystery book that I've read, but I didn't think it was a fantasy as well, because like I said, it's related to fairy tales. When I first read it, I literally thought it reads more like a mystery book than a mystery fantasy, which is really interesting, but I did really enjoy it, and I do want to continue on with the series just because the book is so unique to me that I'm just like, I want to know what happens next, and yeah, I gave it 4 stars. So the next book that I've read recently is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, which is about a girl who finds out that the guy that she's in love with decided to marry someone else, and so she goes to the Prince of Hearts to make a deal, and that's all I remember. I know I've read it back in February, and this was my most anticipated release of 2021. I did really enjoy it. I listened to this on audiobook, but for some reason I didn't enjoy the audiobook, so I did give this 4 stars. I still really enjoy it, and somehow I don't feel connected like the characters like I did with Carvel, which is her previous book series, but either way, I'm really excited about the sequel that's coming out this year. So yeah, again, I gave us 4 stars, and I'm still willing to continue on with the series. The next book that I read, technically, I unfortunately DNF this book, which is The Wicked King by Holly Black, which is the second book in the Folk of Air series. I honestly just, if you only read the first book's about a girl who's been raised in a world of faith since her mother has been killed and all that. I honestly did not feel connected to this book like I did with the first one, and I just decided to DNF it and not continue on with the series. And I'm sorry for all of you who love this series, but I honestly didn't. The world's always been confusing to me, and it kind of reminded me of that. I didn't enjoy the world as much, and I did like the characters, but I just didn't feel connected to characters like I did with the first book. So unfortunately, this is a DNF for me, unfortunately. And the next book that I read recently is You Have a Match by Emma Lord. This is about a girl who takes a DNA test and finds out that she has a biological sister, and she wants to meet her biological sister. I really enjoy this book, not as much as Be Cute or Tweet Cute on, unfortunately, but I still really enjoy the story, and I like how there's not a lot of books that doesn't have focus on romance as much from the ones that I've read personally, but I just really enjoy this story, and I liked how she wants to learn about her sister and why she wasn't in her family, why she was given up for adoption and all that. So, and I just really like that. Like the sister, I like books about sisters, but with this one, she didn't know that she had a sister until after she took a DNA test, and I just really like that, and I still enjoy the story overall, and I give this 4 stars. And the next book that I've read recently is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. This is a Hades and Persephone retelling where all the Greek gods appears in the real world kind of thing. From what I've read, it seems like it was like she's telling the whole story of Hades and Persephone, but like, what if the Greek gods live in the real world, in the modern world, which is really interesting. That's why I like the book so much, and I didn't expect to be not as smutty as I think, because I know many people, this is considered smut, and I'm not really a big fan of smut, but with this one, there's not a lot of smutty scenes, if you know what I mean, but I still, it made me enjoy the story a lot. Like, I am familiar with the story of Hades and Persephone, but with this one, it makes me want to read the original stories again, or other Greek mythology stories in general, and I really liked it a lot. I didn't expect to like it at first, but then I really enjoyed it more, and I really hope to continue on with the series, because I'm really curious on what happens next with Hades and Persephone. So yeah, I give this 4 stars. And the next book that I've read recently is The Promised Demolition Volume 5 by Caillou Shirei. I think I keep butchering this author's last name, and I apologize for that. If you haven't read the first book is about a group of orphans who are living a happy life at the orphans, but then they discover that there's something fishy going on with the orphanage and the adoption process and all that. So that's basically the synopsis of it, and this is the 5th volume, but I don't want to explain what the plot is, because spoilers, but I really enjoy this as much as the other books in this series so far, and I'm just really excited to continue on with the series, because I want to know what happens next with these orphans. Ever since I read the first volume, I'm like, I want to know what happens next and all that, and it's becoming one of my favorite manga series so far, and I'm just really happy that I tried it out and continue on with the series, and I'm excited to see what happens next, and I give this 5 stars. And the next book that I've read recently is Children of the Whales Volume 2 by Abby Umeda. I think that's how the author is pronounced. Again, I apologize for butchering the author's name, but this is, if you haven't read the first volume is about a group of people on this ship called the Mud Whale, and they think they're the only living beings, and when they went onto this island, they found a girl, and they find out that they're not the only living people, other people out there. I did really enjoy this one. For some reason, I didn't enjoy it as much as the first volume, but I did enjoy it, and I do hope to continue on with the series to see what happens next, because there were a lot of stuff that was going on there that I'm like, I should have already read the first volume before I read this one, because it would, for some reason, I kind of forgot what happens with the first volume, even though I remember it really well. But anyways, I'm still really want to continue on the series, because I want to know what happens next, and yeah, I'm just really hope to continue on with the series still, and I give this 4 stars. And the next book that I've read recently is The Upside of Falling by Alex Light. This is about a girl who's been mocked for not dating, basically, and she tells everybody in school that she has a boyfriend when she clearly doesn't. So the quarterback of the football team asked if she wants him to be her fake boyfriend, and that's all I really know. That's the basic of the synopsis. I really enjoyed the story. I thought it was really cute. You get to see both characters' perspectives, which I like when it comes to different stories. You get to see what, I forgot the main character's name in it, is Becca and Brett's perspective, and you get to see how they value relationships and love and all that, and I just really like that. Like, as they're fake dating, they talk about like what their opinions about love and relationships and all that, and that's what I really liked about this. I really love about this book, and also I just can't help but how cute those two are, even though they're fake dating, but I know what's gonna happen in the end, even though I'm just a sucker for fake relationships in general in novels, and I really love this book, and I give this 5 stars. And the last book that I've read recently is Dreaming Sun by Ichigo Takano. This is a contemporary manga about a girl who runs away from home because she thinks her family doesn't care about her, and then she runs into this landlord in a park and said that she can stay with him on 3 conditions. 1, to find his lost house key, and 2 is to gosh, what was the third one? I know there was a second condition, and then the third condition is to, the second one is to explain why she ran away from home, and the third one is to have a dream and fall in love, and I really enjoy this manga since it was I never read a contemporary manga before, and I know there's another manga that this author wrote, which is Orange, I think. Yeah, and I haven't read that, and I've heard that's very emotional book, and I just thought I would ease up on that and try with this manga instead, and I really enjoy it. I thought it was really funny. I love the characters so much. They just make me laugh so much every time I turn a page and something happens, and it just makes me laugh every time, and I really love this manga so far, and I definitely want to continue on with this series, and I give this 5 out of 5 stars. So that's all the books that I've read recently. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and comment down below what you've read recently. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button and click the bell icon so you'll be notified when I post new videos. Also, you can follow me on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads, which all links will be down below for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!